Okay, in this video we're going to go over how to use a Python function called the map function. So basically what the map function is useful for is that it allows you to apply a function, a given function, to any and all items in a certain iterable. So an iterable is just anything, remember, that we can go through one item at a time. So basically the iterables that we would be choosing from here for our purposes would mostly be lists, maybe some strings or dictionaries. So any of those where you can, basically if you could iterate through it with a for loop, you can apply the map function to it in most cases, especially for what we're going to be using. So this, you can maybe the gears are spinning in your head as to how this could be useful. The syntax for this is map, and then the arguments for the map function are the function that you want to apply, and we'll see an example of this in a second, and the iterable that you want to apply that function to. And then what the map function is going to do, and this is very important, is it's going to return a list of the results that you had from applying this function to that iterable. Okay, so if we look at an example here, we could, let's say we were going to apply the map function to a list. We could make a list, let's say we make a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we could, let's say we wanted to convert the items in this list from one type of variable to another. So if we look at these, the items in the list that we made here, these would obviously be integer variable types. So if we wanted to test that, we could say for x in the list that we made and say print type of each item in the list. So if we save and run this, we look down here, the type is confirmed to be integer for all of the 5 items in this list, right? So now we could go in and use the map function. Let's say we wanted these items in the list to not be integers, but let's say we wanted to convert them to strings. We could then use the map function to reassign all the items in this list. So we can make the list reassigned and use the map function, and we could say, let's say we want to convert these integers that we have in this list, let's say we want to convert them to strings. So again, using the syntax of the map function, we would use map, the function that we wanted to use across this whole iterable, and in this case the function is the string function, and then the iterable that we want to use there. So in this case, the iterable that we're changing is the list that we made called list. So now what we've done is we've reassigned the list to be a new type of variable, a string variable. All of its items will be converted to a string variable. And again, using the map syntax, we have map applying this function, the string function, to this iterable, the list iterable. Okay, so to test if this worked, we could take this for loop and then do the same thing after our conversion using the map function. And we should see here, if you maybe want to pause and see what you think the output might be from this function, here we have the same types that we printed before. Then we use the map function, and then we are going to print those same types after applying the map function. So hopefully you've figured out kind of what is going to happen here. If we apply this, we have the 5 integer types that we had before, right, because we printed the type of each of these items in the list before we converted it while they were all still integers. And then we converted it using the map function. We converted all the items to strings instead of the integers that they were. And then we printed the type again, and now we have 5 instances of string variables here. So this is a really useful function. It can save you a lot of time, and instead of, it can make your code less repetitive as long as you can basically apply a certain function to all the items in the iterable. All right, thanks for watching this video on the map function, and I'll see you in the next one.